Assalamualaikum and good greetings. So I happened to went to a wedding ceremony, not wedding ceremony, wedding anniversary ceremony earlier today, and here's a not the video. Here's a picture of at the entrance that I take. It says welcome to the celebration of the name and 40th anniversary, and then now bottom 63rd anniversary. Right, so I thought of making this video a short video just to mention that, and to ponder whether this topic is an interesting topic, a topic of marriage. When I take this picture, I thought to myself, is this something to be celebrated? I'm not saying it shouldn't be celebrated. I'm saying that, is it something that is rare, hence it is celebrated? Or, because I thought in the context of us here, I'm talking about geographically, me in Malaysia, as well as the context of my family, my extended family, the circle that I grew up with, etc. It is expected, meaning it's 40th anniversary, 60th anniversary, all of these are expected, right? It is a norm. Because I've watched, for example, Hollywood's film, even conversation, interview, etc., when they have, oh, we have been married 20 years, 30 years, etc., right? And some response, wow, that, where the wow there appear to me as if that is rare. That is, wow, 40 years, that's long. When here, it's like, it is expected, right? It is expected. So that's interesting. That is interesting. I think the perspective about marriage is different due to culture, due to religion perhaps, due to generation difference perhaps as well, due to family dynamics, I don't know. So there are several things that makes this perspective on the same thing different. As I mentioned before, I come from this geographical area, that's one. And also number two is my family background. And I know that even in this same country, there are other people outside that have a totally different dynamics in their family, that what I'm saying may not even make sense to them. Because I only realized this when one of my child at the primary school, she go in one of the school that normally myself and most of my kids went to this type of school, and then suddenly in the secondary school, due to financial constraint, we have to take this child to a common government school, and suddenly I was exposed to a reality that I have never been exposed to before. It seems that I come from a very privileged background, that all the people around me is living a life. I'm not talking about being wealthy. I'm talking about culturally, family stability, etc. It is very privileged that everything is harmonious, everything loving, etc., etc. But then I was exposed to a totally different dynamic, where there are kids that is totally abandoned in reality by the parents. Not the parent want to abandon, but they are totally disconnected in the sense that the parents have to strive, they work shift, and meaning the kids basically practically live by themselves, right? They have the key to the house, they go out on them by themselves to school, they come back on their own, totally, because the parents is never able to get back home. That's the reality. That's why even if they decide not to go to school, the parent would never know, etc., right? So I have never been really exposed to that life before. So, and in the topic of marriage, I follow certain public figures. Aiman Azlan, if you are familiar with this, he engaged in his social media specifically on this topic, and it triggers a lot of me thinking, and normally I pick up from there to elaborate. But this normally happen in Malay, in my language, right, and not in English, because the source material is mainly in Malay and the audience for it is in Malay. So I'm not sure what do you think, right? Because normally if I give my opinion, it always also tend to be in Malay context for the most part, right? So normally it would be in Malay. I'm not sure whether the topic of marriage would be something interesting for me to ponder upon in English. If the background and the reality is so much apart, to talk about marriage, I would assume it's very hard to find common ground. I would assume. What do you think? What do you think? Coincidentally as well, the group that I mentor right now, we also cover the aspect of marriage, and some of their questions is interesting as well. There are students in the university but think marriage is, you know, a far thing away, not to think seriously about it yet. For me, that is like alarming, right? You're already in the age of a university, you know, you think this is far away, you know. So, but, you know, I'm not opening a topic of discussion today. I'm just saying the topic of marriage, is it interesting? Because for me it is interesting, but of course I'm trying to find is there any audience for this kind of, you know, discussion. Where is it in this platform? If it's not on YouTube channel, maybe I would push it in my other medium that I use, like TikTok or Instagram. I rarely, you know, spend much time there, but I put some content there. So yeah, any opinion, feel free to share. Thank you for watching. See you next time.